Hello there, my name is Liam and in this video I'll be giving you an introduction to Gem, my little blue MG. Gem is a 1979 Midget 1500 which I have owned since April 2017. The last thing I needed in my life in 2017 was a bright blue sports car, but I was thoroughly taken by the modifications and the way this car looked. It was just something really special. I saw her on eBay and had to go to Leicester and check her out, and I pretty much bought her on the spot. Gem has had those rubber bumpers removed that dog these 1500 midgets, she's had the suspension lowered, and she's also had various other little upgrades like the wheels, which I think really set off the whole car and really drew me to the car straight away. Inside we've added a custom dashboard, we've put in MX-5 seats that have got speakers in the headrests, and there's a roll bar just in case I run out of driving talent. So not long after I bought her, I had a little engine oil mishap on the M1 heading south, and that was in May 2017. So I replaced the engine that summer with a £35 eBay bargain, and that saw me through till about August-September time when we took the car off the road and commenced a full rebuild over the winter period. We then worked through from the front to the back, giving attention to anything that needed it. All the components that needed servicing were looked at and upgraded. We then painted the car and shipped her off to the NEC with all of her bits in boxes for the Practical Classics restoration show, where we rebuilt the car on the Midget and Sprite Club stand over the 3-day weekend. Here's a tip: if you want to rebuild a car in a hurry, don't try and do it in front of 28,000 really interested people. We did have a pretty good weekend though, and we got a lot of the different components bolted back onto the car, and our little blue shell was starting to resemble an MG Midget again. A few more weeks work back in the workshop meant she was ready for an MOT, which she passed first time, and then off it was out onto the road for the summer season. After the car was rebuilt and we were slowly and gently running it in, we were part of a film project with MG India. Now, as you might know, MGs have resurfaced in the last couple of years with new cars being made in China and shipped over to the UK. They're actually designed in Longbridge, and in fact 10,000 MGs were sold in Britain last year. Nearly 250,000 were sold in China in the same period. I think they're quite good actually, and I have got one. Anyway, with the launch of MG Motor in India, a film crew was dispatched to the UK to catch up with classic car owners and see what it was about their MGs that made them special. The film crew spent a day with me in my little workshop in the West Midlands and followed me around for a few hours, driving up and down the same road and filming me doing menial tasks like refitting a distributor 3 or 4 times. It was really lovely to see how a simple love of cars can bring people together. It transcends culture, continents. This film crew from India were really interested in seeing how car club culture in this country benefits car owners, as that's not really something they have in India yet. I was also given the opportunity to talk about a lot of the work that I do with car clubs and young people to get the next generation of car enthusiasts involved with classic vehicles. My episode was shared with fellow young MG owner Charlotte, who has got a beautiful red MGA called Frisky. That was actually her granddad's car, and she talks about that story in the video. I'll put a link in the description down below. It's really worth a watch, and I'd like to say thanks to Jeff and the MG Car Club for sorting that out for us. So it was all going swimmingly, and then I broke it. Once again on the M1 heading south, looking forward to a lovely day at Silverstone, there was a very loud bang and the little blue MG coasted to a stop in the hard shoulder. In fact, there was no hard shoulder, and it is terrifying braking down on the live lane of an active smart motorway. I'm glad I had the roof off, I just jumped out. Helpfully, the brave chaps from Highways England were soon along to tow me off the motorway, and the RAC towed my little car back to her workshop for immediate heart surgery. So I think there was an oil starvation problem which had caused a camshaft seizure and snapped the timing chain and blah blah blah. Point is, it was very loud, very expensive, and it's still not fixed. Perhaps £35 eBay engines are not the way forward. Good news though, remember that engine that I blew up a couple of years ago? Well, I've just had that rebored, honed, skimmed, and that is pretty much ready to go now. So I've spent the last few weeks cleaning, polishing, getting other components ready, done a lot of research into upgrades for the 1500 engine so that it can be more reliable. I've drilled out oil ways, I've painted cylinder heads, I've been lightening the rods and balancing the pistons, and I've also just been doing little jobs like tidying up the wiring loom, adding Bluetooth audio, and I've been doing an upgrade on the LED lighting. She is looking a bit sorry for herself, but she'll soon be back on the road and we'll be enjoying the summer once again. Not that there's much sign of that at the moment. There will be a series of build videos when I start getting that engine back together, so stay tuned. In fact, now is the time to hit that subscribe button and follow Little Blue MG and keep in touch with all of our updates as we go along. This channel is going to be full of lots of different ideas and lots of different things. We'll have projects that we are involved with in the car, we'll have shows and events that we take the car along to, and we'll be sharing the car with other classic car owners and just enjoying the hobby. So whatever you're interested in the classic car world, there will be something for you here. So subscribe and give us a like while you're at it. Equally, if you have any comments, hit them up down below. And if you have any questions or suggestions or things you'd like me to talk about, do let me know and I'll try and include those in a future video. So I've already asked for some questions on our Instagram feed, and thank you very much to everybody who got back to me. Our first question comes in from Steph at iDriveAClassic, and Steph asked, what have you done in the car on the last 6 months? Well, actually I've not done that much in the last 6 months. I've been moving house and having various other life traumas, so it's basically been very, very slow. So the engine rebuild that I previously mentioned has been in progress very slowly. We're starting to get somewhere with that now. So actually the next 6 months are going to be what's really interesting. Stay tuned to find out where we go and what we do with the car. In fact, Steph has just started her own YouTube channel called iDriveAClassic, and she's been reviewing different cars, going to different events and shows. I'll put a link in the description to her down below. She's definitely worth a watch.
When I bought Jill in 2017, it was a combination of midlife crisis, not really knowing what I wanted next, and a little bit of nostalgia because my first car was a Metro, albeit a Rover 114, which was pretty much a souped up Rover 100, aka a late Metro.
Next question comes in from Sam, who asked me what engine swaps I would consider. Well, I have thought about this at length, and it's been everybody's suggestion when I've had these engine troubles to just stick a K-Series engine in it. A Rover K-Series engine or a Ford Zetec are the popular options, and I think I would probably go with the Zetec option. I think there are more performance upgrades available more readily, and frankly the K-Series conversion has been done to death in the midgets. Next question is from Dan, who asks what we're going to be getting up to with the car. Well, I've mentioned my engine rebuild plan. I think in the future that's going to include bike carbs or some other sort of funky inlet options. One thing I am doing with the engine rebuild that I'm doing at the moment is including a custom timing wheel on the front of the front pulley, and this will enable me to learn more about 3D mappable ignition using throttle position sensors and manifold pressure sensors to advance and retard the curves of the ignitions. There will be a video about that, so stay tuned. I was lucky enough to go out on track with Rob Armstrong in his K-Series Midget at the Midget and Sprite Club track day this year at Donington. Now I actually closed my eyes at 125 miles an hour, but I was definitely bitten by the bug. There will almost certainly be track action from Little Blue MG later in the year, but frankly I'd just quite like to get to a September without blowing her up. And our final question comes in from Kyle, who asks, where did you get those wheels? I'd love some for my 65. These wheels are John Brown wheels, 13-inch black pepper pots. I've actually written a blog post all about them, about the tyre sizes you need, the offset and the different options you need to order them in. That's actually on the Little Blue MG website, so I'll put a link to that in the description down below, and all of the information that you need and more is on there. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit more about Little Blue MG, the 1979 Midget. And if you're interested in following our adventures in the future, now is the time to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up while you're at it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.